Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Sam and I make videos about makeup, chronic illness, and whatever I want. And today I'm here to talk about my second round of migraine Botox. If you're new here or you just haven't watched the first video, I started getting Botox for chronic migraine in October? Yeah, I think the beginning of October. I probably should have looked that up before I started filming. So to reach your full dose is like after the third dose. How do I say that? You reach your maintenance period after the third dose. So the first two and kind of including the three is just your buildup. So you might not see like full effects right away. I went over the first one and how it wore off early, and I have already had my set of third injections about 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to go over how that one was different than the first and how I am at the 2 week mark in the third. With the first one, the shots wore off about 6 weeks before I was due to get my second round, which was really intense. I got really bad gastroparesis. The migraine was near constant and just was not a good time. And then when I got the second dose around, I think like the week after Christmas, I noticed it took more time to kick in, not in a bad way, because they do tell you it takes 2 weeks to kick in. I just noticed it kicking in sooner with the first dose, likely because my migraines were just so bad. So it did take the 2 weeks the second time. But once it kicked in, I noticed similar things to the first one. Like I was having less severe migraines. My abortive medication was working more frequently. And I definitely had a decrease in the amount. Now, as for it wearing off, that was the interesting part because I got really nervous and put a note in my calendar around the 6 weeks to the injection, just so I was mentally prepared and it didn't sneak up on me. I feel like at this point, I mastered the gastroparesis and I know pretty well what to expect, how to eat, how to handle it, so I can catch it before it gets as severe as it did the last time. Because the last time I didn't know what I was dealing with, I was still eating normally and things like that, which is what made it so terrible. Nothing showed up around that time, which would be about the halfway mark. You get these injections every, is it 12 weeks? I think it's every 12 weeks. So my brain just farted. So it wore off the first time around the halfway mark. I didn't have it at the halfway mark, so it was like every week after that I was just like watching for signs of it wearing off. And what was funny is they tell you to expect it to wear off about 2 weeks before you're due. So you have like this 4 week period where your migraines are still not as severe as they were without the Botox, but increased a bit. It was almost like a switch when I hit that 2 weeks to injection mark, that like the first spot I noticed for me is the worst, and it's my traps, and they just turned into big rocks and it hurt and it went up into my neck and it was just like a whole thing. But I was so grateful that it actually lasted to the recommended time. Now, I don't remember when I filmed the last one, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but we did on the second dose increase the amount that went in my traps because that is my biggest problem area. Going into the third one, I didn't feel like we needed to increase anything, so we just kind of stayed the same and we're going to see how it goes. My cat is putting toys under the door. I will say that I tried not to be too optimistic or too pessimistic going into it because, again, it was only my second injection. So you're not considered a Botox failure unless after the full round of the third, so 12 weeks after your third injection, and you're still not noticing improvement, then it's considered a failure. I was not having that. I was having some improvement, but you know, you still get kind of worried that, like, what if this doesn't work, kind of thing. So I was excited to see that, like, okay, cool. Like, with this injection, I lasted to the normal time frame. It didn't wear off super early, so on and so forth. She did tell me when I explained to her that that was pretty normal that it wore off so early, just because it was the first one and it wasn't like built up in the nerves or anything yet. So that made me a little more optimistic. Now, like I said, I'm 2 weeks out from my third injection, so I won't give an update on round 3 until I go in June, and I can tell you how, like, this whole 12 weeks went. But hitting the 2 week mark and feeling it fully kick in, I want to say I felt it fully kick in around Saturday night into Sunday. The thing is, I had a near constant migraine for those 2 weeks. It wasn't a severe migraine to where I needed medication every day. I think I took it twice. Once day of injection, which that always sets off a migraine. That's not abnormal. And then I don't remember what the other time was. Probably sometime last week. And then I have taken some, like, ibuprofen once or twice. But mostly I just survived with ice packs. You can't do a massage or anything for 2 weeks to help with any of the muscle tension. So, like, I just pretty much stuck with ice and napping a lot. They were significantly less severe. It was just kind of like this nagging, lingering pain for the 2 weeks. Now that it's kicked in, I'm pretty much doing okay. I'm heading right into, like, the PMDD thing, which gives me migraines. But I haven't had an actual migraine. Today it's just kind of a normal headache. So fingers crossed that I don't actually get one in this scenario. Yeah, this is a short update because there's not really anything that changed. We didn't change the dosage this time. We stuck with the increased in my chops, but everything else has stayed the same because, again, I stayed within the normal time frame. She said we'll discuss if we want to try any more in any other area when I go back in June, because seeing as I saw success within the normal parameters, she doesn't want to touch anything until I've fully reached that maintenance dose, which will be round 4. I want to say it's like June 24th. I think I go June 16th. I don't know what June 24th is. I'm just making that up. So I'm continuing to notice improvements. I'm getting, like, parts of my life back that I haven't had in a year. I've been playing catch up on things that have been neglected. I've just been enjoying hobbies like video games. I've really been neglecting makeup because of all the other stuff I've had to catch up on with cleaning and appointments and things like that. It's hard to take the time to sit and do this. Although I love it. I loved doing my makeup today. It's so nice. I need to get back to doing it more, but we're easing into it as I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm doing too much. I think I mentioned in my yearly to-do list, I haven't really given myself too many things to accomplish this year because I don't want to set myself back, and I want to have a full year of Botox under my belt before I try to get back to my version of normal. And that's all I have for this update. I hope you guys have been doing well and you had a good holiday. If you celebrate Easter, if you didn't, I hope you just had a relaxing weekend. I don't know. If you have any questions that I didn't answer about the Botox, please let me know down below and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.